y'all. We got some real interesting things to do tonight. It is 2:44 in the morning. What are you making at 2:44 in the morning? What is he making at 2:44 in the morning? Good morning, everyone. Class is in session. Please take your seats. I said take your seats. We're going to read off some conversation cards. That's right. You and me and me and you with the conversation cards. Tell her to stop. Anyway, let's get a little closer. You should be a little more intimate. You can get closer to me. And my lovely candles. You see them? Responsibilities. We're going to read some questions off the cards. First question. What is the most delicious meal you've ever had? Probably can't read that because it's backwards. The most delicious meal I've ever had would have to be when I went on a cruise to the Bahamas. There was a lovely captain's dinner and they had tiger shrimp and lobster tails and it was amazing. I love that. What is the most beautiful natural landscape you've ever seen? That's a tough question because I can only think of a mountain. That was pretty beautiful, but that's the answer. Hey, Just Turner. What is the one thing you are most excited about for the future of space exploration? Hey, Rory. The one thing I'm most excited about for the future of space exploration would have to be, will we be able to live in space? Like, that would be really nice to know. Like, could you imagine? That's a good question. Now, if you could have any animal's ability to run at incredible speeds, which one would you choose and why? I guess it would be like a cheetah, like some type of wildcat. I'm thinking those would be the fastest animals. So it would be some sort of wildcat. That would be wonderful. Yes. If you could witness any natural disaster from a safe distance, which one would you choose and why? Hi, Sadu. I hope I say your name right. I would choose to watch a volcano explosion. Like that would be really cool to see. Because usually if you're close enough to really like see that and be able to like appreciate it, you'd probably be like vaporized or something. So that would be cool. If you could have any historical event explained to you, which one would you choose and why? A historical event. You know what? That plane. I can't even remember the plane. There was a plane like some years back that just disappeared around like the Bermuda Triangle. Or maybe it wasn't, but it disappeared. I would like to know what really happened. Did it really crash? I don't know if they ever solved that or not. I guess that's something. What is your favorite way to celebrate a personal achievement or milestone? My favorite way to celebrate a personal achievement or milestone is to tell people about it, I guess. If it's an appropriate question. Let's see. What is one piece of advice you would give to your younger self? Stay in school. I don't know if that's right for everybody. I know some people went to school, like continued education, and they were like, um, it didn't work out for them. But I think that would be a good idea for a lot of people, especially now because that's like expected. Like they want you to have like some sort of education. So that's one. What is the most embarrassing thing you ever accidentally texted to the wrong person? Ooh, I was texting some guy some spicy stuff when I was like real young, and I sent it to my mom. Bro, can you believe how embarrassing that was? It was terrible. It was terrible. It's pretty embarrassing. Um, if you could replace your hands with any object, what would you choose? What kind of question is that? If you could replace your hands with any objects, like some egg beaters, like what would I don't know. Mmm. Shoot, money scanners, some kind of card scanners. I don't know. I'm not a scammer or nothing, but it had to be something really worth for me to have on my hands. What was my favorite subject or favorite subject teacher? I loved English. I loved to read, not as much as I used to, but I used to love reading. So I used to want to be an English teacher, but then I realized how terrible kids are. I said, no, I ain't doing that. So yeah, for my hands, what kind of object would I pick for my hands? I don't know. Something that's gonna make me some money. Maybe I don't know, money counters. If you could have a conversation with any character from a book, who would it be and why? Any character from a book, who would it be and why? You know, all the books that I could think of would probably not be a popular book. I don't know. I don't know if y'all remember there was an old book called Horrible Harry. It was an old kid's book. Maybe I would ask him how horrible he is. Or maybe I'll ask Captain Underpants how he became Captain Underpants. I don't think I ever knew the answer to that. So maybe that's who would be Captain Underpants. What is one thing you are proud of accomplishing in your life so far? One thing I am proud of accomplishing is being alive. I'm still alive. Like, that's an accomplishment. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad that I was able to answer your question. I hope that you like the answer. If you could replace your feet with any object, what would you choose? What's up with this replacing body parts with objects? If I could replace my feet with any object, jet skis, maybe rocket launchers, something like that. Rockets? That's a good idea. All right. If you could time travel, which era would you visit? Well, it wouldn't probably be before the 1970s, for obvious reasons. Just gonna leave it at that. What's something you've always wanted to learn but haven't yet? How to speak Spanish? Like, I've been trying, but it's not an easy thing, especially when you're older, learning another language. So that's probably important. Uh, what is your all-time favorite movie? My all-time favorite movie will probably have to be, I used to say Romeo and Juliet, the one with Leonardo DiCaprio. But if I had to be honest, I'm going to say My all-time favorite movie is Half Baked. That is a funny, hilarious movie. If you haven't seen Half Baked, you need to watch that at least once in your life. It is a really funny movie. And if you could have any fictional skill or talent, what would it be and why? If I could have any fictional skill or talent, I don't know, the power to make wishes come true. That's a fictional skill, right? So, yeah, I think that's a great idea. What is the funniest joke that you know? The funniest joke I know. Let's see. I don't know a lot of funny jokes. I can't think of one. I don't think I'm very funny. I got a funny joke. The fact that I was born on St. Patrick's Day and I don't have good luck. That's a joke. Thank you. English teaching. Oh, thank you. I don't know if I could teach English. Like, I don't know if I would be that good at teaching English, but I love to read. If you could have any fictional vehicle for transportation, what would it be and why? If I could have a fictional vehicle for transportation, it would be like a boat, car, tr- plane type thing. I could do all those things. I could fly. I could ride on a boat. I can multi-purpose vehicle that didn't need gas. What is the most ridiculous thing you've ever done for a dare? Ooh. Um, the most ridiculous thing I've ever done for a dare. I don't want to say. I think I'm gonna have to skip that. I'm gonna let y'all use your imagination. I'm not answering that question. If you could have any fictional vehicle, such as a spaceship or a time machine, which one would you choose? I think I would have a time machine. I don't really have a purpose for spaceship. Like, what am I doing in space? I don't know what's in space. I don't know. Time machine. Then I can go back in time and tell myself to not do stupid stuff I did. That's a good idea. If you could have a conversation with your younger self, what advice would you give? This question was in here twice. What's the most interesting documentary you've ever watched? I guess I would have to say Good Hair, a Chris Rock documentary. It was pretty interesting. I would say it was the most interesting thing I've ever watched, but that's one I can think of. What is your dream job and why? Ooh, to do something with music. Like, I would love to do something with music. I don't know if that's really like realistic, but I'm really good at writing music, and I think I have a lot of talent. So that would be my dream job. What is the most adventurous thing you have ever done? The most adventurous thing I have ever done was move across country to be in a relationship with somebody I met on the internet. That was the most adventurous thing I have ever done. That was risky, but I'm still here. If you could have a secret talent, what would you want it to be? I have a secret talent that I would want to be able to speak like a bunch of different languages and then like people not know and then listen to them and then see if they be talking crap. And then I hit them with the, yeah, I know how to speak that. I know what you're saying. What's the best piece of advice you would give to my future self? Ooh, my future self. That's a good question. What is the most? What is the best piece of advice I would give my future self? Ooh, keep on watching your surroundings. What the hell? The most ridiculous thing I've done for a day is calling my teacher mom for a day. Oh, that's pretty funny. What's your favorite outdoor activity? Can I speak one? What's my favorite outdoor activity? Um, Walking. Not really like a sports person, but definitely. I used to like to go feed the ducks, and then I found out you can't feed them bread. You're supposed to be feeding them like the stuff they eat, not bread. If you could be an animal for a day, which one would you choose? The one that don't get ate. One that's not going to get eaten. I'm going to be that animal for one day. Maybe like a lion or something. Yeah, something safe. What's the most challenging thing you've ever accomplished? The most challenging thing I have ever accomplished was being human. That's tough. What's the strangest food combination you have ever tried? When I was like a teenager, I had put some Oreos, like crushed up, in some Rice Krispie cereal. It wasn't the worst, but it's not something I would ever want to do again. So you try it if you dare. Let's see. What is the one thing you would like to change about the world and why? Um, the hate, I guess. If I had to pick that, lion, that's a good choice to be an animal for a day. Um, Change the world, I guess just the hate. Just the people, you know, the hate, the prejudice, whatever it is people have problems with. That would be a beautiful thing. I think we have a lot more peace. What is the most ridiculous excuse you've ever used to get out of doing something? What's the most ridiculous excuse I've ever used to get out of doing something? I really have a hard time making up excuses to get out of stuff. I usually try to find something pretty legit, but I can't think of one, y'all. The most ridiculous excuse I've ever used. I'm gonna have to skip that one. I can't think of an answer. Probably said I was out of town or something. Maybe I called into work and lied and said I was out of town. I think I've done that before. Thank you. If you have a talking pet, what would you want it to say? I would want it to tell me nothing. I don't know. I like that my pet doesn't talk because then it can't tell me how annoying I am or whatever it doesn't like about me. So that's the great part about having animals, the fact that they don't talk. Uh, but I guess if I had to choose what I would want it to say, I would want it to tell me, it loves me. That's a good answer. My pet. What is one thing you are grateful for today? To be alive. That I was able to see another beautiful day on this earth. Everybody doesn't get to wake up the next day. So you know what? Live in the moment and be grateful that we're here. If you could have any fictional artifact that grants you eternal youth, what would it be and why? I mean, where am I from? The U.S., the United States. If you could have any fictional artifact that grants you eternal youth, what would it be and why? I don't know, some kind of body spray or something. Like that sounds like that would be something that you would do. Is like have a body spray. Just like, now I'm young. You know what I'm saying? Like forever. Like Twilight. If you could be any fictional character, who would you choose and why? A fictional character? Scrooge McDuck. That's a good one because he got the bands. Like swimming in gold coins. That's who I want to be. Scrooge McDuck. What is your favorite way to spend a weekend? My favorite way to spend the weekend? Spending money. I love shopping and not like going to the mall, buying clothes and stuff like that. Like really shopping, like buying groceries and buying stuff for my house, buying chargeable lamps. That's the kind of stuff I like to buy. So, what is your favorite way to spend a weekend? Oh, I said that already. God, let's see. This is why you need to always pay attention. Um, what is your favorite way to spark your creativity or find inspiration? It's funny it says spark your creativity. I would say you should be sparking something up, but that's not really, I don't really need that to spark my creativity. I think I'm a pretty creative person, but it doesn't hurt, you know. Smoke a little bit of the cannabis. What is one thing you would like to accomplish within the next year? Within the next year, I want my wax melt business to take off. And I'm going to pause and talk about this for a minute because I'm really excited about it. I am going to be working on a pet safe. Do you need help with that? It is working. Give it to me. I'm going to be working on a pet safe wax melt line. So it's not designed for pets. It's going to be like a scent line, like wax melt candles for everyone. But it's going to have pet safe ingredients. So please be looking out for that. I will definitely be posting more about that on here. I think it's really going to be something that's going to take off. So I'm looking for that within the next year to be able to say that this business is off the ground and wax melts will be available for purchase. So, if you could be a professional in a completely made-up sport, what would it be called? A made-up sport? I think it would be called a professional in a made-up sport would be something to do with water. Some kind of sport with water. Like, I don't know, they got water basketball. I know they got water polo. Sure, we'll say that. I'll be the best. Yes, I'm in the U.S. Um, Water basketball. Okay, y'all, we almost there. Almost 30 minutes of conversation cards. We got about 7 minutes left. So, if you have, if you want to answer the questions, please feel free. I'm sorry, my throat's so dry from talking to you. So, what's my favorite movie and why? I think I already answered this question, and I said it was half baked. Like that was the answer. But why? Because it was funny. It was a funny movie. I thought it was really funny. I think it's a classic. I think that although it's not like the most type movie, it's definitely something worth watching. If you could have any fictional ability to control minds, that's stupid. I think some of these are like the same questions over and over again, and they're just like repeating them. Ooh, if you could have any fictional ability to manipulate weather, what would it be? Why? I guess I would just make it where I can make the weather beautiful whenever it's bad. I don't know what separate abilities would make that happen, but that's the answer. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. What is the one thing you are most excited about for the future of entertainment? I'm not excited about the future of entertainment because with AI and all this other stuff that's going on, it's not going to be pretty, My favorite food is tacos. I think that's my number one answer. Tacos, then like Asian food, and then like Italian food. So it's like, yeah, that's it's like my three. Uh, what is the one thing you're most excited about? So I'm not excited about anything for that. So I guess I don't have an answer for that because I just know it's gonna be crap. Like I don't think it's gonna get any better unless nothing. I can't think of anything. Um, what is the one thing you're most looking forward to in the next decade? To see what the state of the United States is going to be like in 10 years. It's always changing. We're just going to leave it at that because this isn't a political channel, but very interested just to see where all this is going. If you could have any animal's ability to swim underwater, which one would you choose and why? Whichever one don't need to come up to breathe. Like that's not a necessity. Like I could just live underwater and not have to worry about coming up because it's a lot of work. You're Asian? Oh, okay. What is one book that it has had a profound impact on your life? The Bible. And I can't even, I feel like I'm lying because I don't really read it like I should probably be reading it. But I don't know. I guess if I had to say a book, it would be. Don't really have an answer. I have one book that I really remember well. It was called The Darkest Child, and it was about a young girl who grew up in the, I want to say the 1940s, during like Jim Crow, and she lived in like the backwoods of like Alabama or some southern states, and it's a really good book. It just really, it's not really so much about like anything to do with like racial issues, mostly just what life might have looked like for someone like that person at that time. And I think that was really well put together. Let's see. What is one thing you appreciate about your ability to stay positive during challenging times? That is so funny because I had a meeting today and we were just talking about different things. I think we were talking about getting older, and one of my coworkers said, "Wow, you really reminded me of my mortality." I said, "Well, you know what? That gives you even more reason to make the best of life and celebrate it." And they said, "Wow, you know, you always have some way to spin a positive, you know, spin on things." And so I guess that's just a skill that I have. It's not something that I really have worked towards, but I guess I do appreciate having that ability to be able to remain positive or try to stay positive. I'm not going to say I'm positive 24/7, but I do try to stay in a more positive mode. All right, y'all, we getting there. We down to like the last minute, so I'm just going to answer another question, and I'm probably going to get out of here because it's 3:15 in the morning almost. What is one thing you are most grateful for in your relationships? What is one thing I am most grateful for in my relationships? The fact that another human being has taken their time and energy to interact with me and to maybe be of support to me. I think it takes a lot of effort and vulnerability and time and energy to be in any type of relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship, a friendship, family. So I'm really grateful for people who are spending their energy to interact with me and to have a relationship with me because you only get one life. This is it. What country would you go to for a month? If I had unlimited funds, it would be probably someplace tropical. During a season, I know they're not gonna have like hurricanes or something. Like maybe like Jamaica, Hawaii, or I don't know. It could even be someplace far away if it's like tropical. I don't know. Like Fiji, isn't that far away? I don't know. It sounds exotic. So, someplace like that. If you could have any fictional technology that improves your health, what would it be and why? Some type of cryogenic chamber or something, but where I wouldn't have to stay frozen forever. Just something I could just get inside. I know there's some machine that these rich people have now that's supposed to make them like be young and stuff. I just can't. We can't. None of us can afford it. Us regular people who probably only watch YouTube. I don't think people with money watch YouTube unless they're like surveying the internet for some reason. Um, so yeah, some machine like that that rich people would have. Well, well, y'all, it's been 30 minutes. I can't believe it. We've done 30 minutes of conversation cards. I appreciate you being here, and I'm gonna be back tomorrow. We'll probably talk about something else. I don't really know what this channel is about, but I thought I could just tell you more about myself by reading conversation cards. So if you would like to subscribe, that would be wonderful, but I'm not going to like beg ya. But if you like to subscribe, please do. If not, you've been watching me probably for a while, so I'm sure I'll be in your algorithm again. So thank you for being here. Take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Millennial Heart.